This is my 2003 Corvette Z06. I've had this car for about 3 years and it's honestly been a blast. I haven't had a chance to really take it to the track, but it's set up for it. This Corvette has actually been overhauled by PFADT Racing. It used to be a show car with the owner before me. They had used it to be able to display their suspension system, which includes the adjustable coilover systems and their strut bars. So it's fully equipped to actually be able to handle for the track. When I received the car, I ended up actually tuning that in a little bit more with more of the tactile touch points that you would experience when driving the car. This includes a more comfortable seat to be able to take the turns in, a grippier, more ergonomic steering wheel, a short throw shifter with a nice heavy solid steel shifter knob, and the shifter's the really nice MGM shifter, so when you go through the gears, it really clicks into place. One of the other additions that I made to this car was to the braking system. I ended up upgrading from the standard C5 Z06 brakes all the way up to the Z06 brakes from the C6 series. So you end up getting 6 piston calipers in the front, 4 piston calipers in the back, along with really nice beefy rotors for it to be able to grab onto. I also ended up upgrading the wheels on this car. Since I was going to the Z06 C6 brakes, I needed to actually have something that could work with those brakes and give it the clearance that it needs. Much larger brakes needed some more accommodating wheels. I wanted to stick with 18-inch wheels all the way around so that it would be a square setup, perfect for taking the turns on track or a nice road that has twists and turns for you. This setup by Apex will give you a really nice solid wheel to be able to work with. You're not going to have to worry about it distorting or warping. It's made to take a load. The previous owners actually installed some really nice features on the car that allowed you to be able to have little nicer aesthetics. They actually upgraded the rear tail lights to LED tail lights. They also ended up putting on this excellent sounding set of Billy Boat catback exhaust. These things really rumble. You'll end up having a nice amount of breathing room for the engine as well. So when it's able to come through that cold air intake, the Killer B series intake, it's able to expel all that air just as quickly. So you'll end up having a car that can actually breathe really well. These are the only modifications for power. We really wanted to be able to keep this car from having any internal mechanics done to it. Whenever I was purchasing the car, I was actually wanting to make sure that none of that was actually done. The LS6 series engines are really solid. No reason to crack into it if you're not trying to do anything like straight line power mods. This is really built for track, not trying to make this a straight line vehicle. So you're gonna have the joys of really having the power that you need delivered where you need it, how you need it. In the trunk, you actually have an enclosed space. Not all Z06s really have this. This is aftermarket. This is typically a pass-through. You still have the advantage of pass-through by being able to tuck this down, giving you a little bit extra room. But the advantage of this, having an actual divider between the trunk and the cabin, is that if there's anything back here, it won't come flying at you if you suddenly had to stomp on the brakes. You also have a really nice amp installed on the back of here, which is powering this nice JBL 10-inch subwoofer. This is going to give you a nice bit of bass to be able to work with. Because this was a show car for PFADT Racing, it actually has a lot of features in here, including a fully built sound system that features JBL audio throughout the entire car. So you end up getting nice mids, highs, and lows with the subwoofer in here. They also have some nice custom leather upholstery for the original seats, which I have both of. I right now have a Corvu racing seat in here, but you're also able to swap back in the original seat, which has the nice blue leather and Alcantara accents on there, along with the PFADT Racing embroidery in the headline. Now, sitting in a Corvette, you actually end up having a nice experience in the driving seat. You are really stuck into place in this seat. It's a fixed position, so you're not going to be able to recline the seat, but it's a Corvette. You're not going to really need to recline it that much. It is adjustable. You can slide it back or forth. you end up having a good bit of leg room. This gives you maybe an extra half inch, an inch, because there's less padding, but it's also a much firmer, denser type of seat, so it really cradles you and holds you, and it gives you a considerable amount of room. I'm 6 foot and like 195 pounds, so sitting in here right now, I feel very comfortable. I feel planted and in place. I can really work with the steering of the car and not have to worry about feeling like I'm sliding around like I do in the original Corvette seats. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take it for a little drive. This car drives really smooth. You actually end up getting a lot of feedback from it through the steering. The shifters are easy to get in and out of. This is also a brand new clutch that's in here. We ended up upgrading it. There was originally a leak in the slave cylinder for the clutch, and so we ended up actually replacing the slave master cylinder, as well as just going ahead, because we had to take everything out, upgrading to an LS7 clutch and putting in a nice heavy duty lightweight flywheel. So it's a Fendesa flywheel that's in here. When we replaced the clutch and the flywheel, we also ended up doing a couple modifications to make it where it's just a little bit smoother. If you're familiar with this car, there's a couple mods that you can do, like the Venom mod. It makes it to where it just has a little bit more give to the shifts. So really, whenever you sit into this car and interact with it, you're gonna feel a completely different ride from what you would get in a typical regular from factory car. Everything from the steering wheel, the shifters, the pedals, which are a nice aluminum anodized pedal set that has a nice textured grip, allows you to really be able to engage with the car in a much more enhanced manner so that you can take things much more confidently. Honestly, this car is such a blast to drive. I've never had a car as fun as this that gives you as much confidence as you can have on the road while really just making you smile. I end up even just taking it around town to get groceries, and it's some of the best grocery getting that I have. That being said, I have not taken this to the track, and I wish I could. I just have not had the time, haven't had the money to throw at really taking on a hobby like that. But as it is, I've just really enjoyed the car, taken care of it, and just made it better. As good as I could get it to where it could be a solid driver. I only really take it out on the weekends, and that's usually maybe every other weekend. So it doesn't have a lot of miles that have gotten racked up on it since I've owned it. Only a few thousand at that. So, you know, whoever ends up taking on this car, you have full advantage of being able to have a car that can take on the track, as well as something that can get you around town. I've taken this on the road maybe 2 times that were trips to Myrtle Beach, so we're talking about like 700-mile round trip, and it never gave me one bit of problem. I can confidently say that you're gonna have an amazing time being able to take this on any type of road trip. If you want to be able to take it to Road Atlanta or to any other racetrack, you're going to have something that you can roll up in, do a couple laps, be able to cool down and bring it back home, and know that you can do it again. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to look at this car. I really hope that it's something that you're interested in taking a look at. If you do, please get a hold of my friend Gary. He's going to be able to help you with getting this set up. He will be able to work with getting you scheduled in and doing a test drive with me. If you have any questions, just reach out to him and go ahead and ask. Thank you.